Hey, JJ here, and this is the Lens of Truth podcast where we play through the oldies and modern goldies to give you our opinion. With nearly 100 years of gaming between all of us, we see how well these gems hold up in our eyes. With me today, we have...
This is Chew. Sorry, something must be making me sneeze in here. This is ATI.
This is Firefly.
This is absolutely a real human being, Zerovii.
Ooh, and today we have a little Kojima gem. We got Snatcher. Christmas adjacent. I think it passes our, Christmas theme that we're trying to go with for this month, and probably couldn't have picked a better one. I mean, there's a few. We got some Parasite, some Blue Stingers, but I think Snatchers, it captures that mood. It captures that feel. You just want to get
This
cozy.
is like the intro to Christmas season. The same way that Die Hard isn't quite a Christmas movie. Whoever says it is, it's Christmas adjacent. Let's be real. If you're not like Christmas shopping or like partaking in Christmas itself, like Gremlins or something, it ain't fully Christmas. But we get to celebrate a little bit of Santa, a little bit of Christmas in here, and we get our nice little cyberpunk detective adventure for the holiday season.
Yeah, this is our, I guess, second adventure, kind of text-based adventure visual novel vibe. We did MEO for, spooky season, and I think we're doing, we're going to be doing Snatcher now for this one. It's an interesting one. I think everyone at this point knows like its cult status and just how much of an impact it has. Like if you enjoy any Kojima games, you eventually go down his rabbit hole and you kind of like find yourself at Snatcher eventually. I feel like that's just the pipeline, like no matter who you are. But
yeah, it's funny. I kind of worked in reverse order. I have been a Kojima consumer, absorber of his essence my entire life. Played Metal Gear Solid 1 when it came out, played 2 when it came out, played 3 when it came out, etc., etc. Worked up the line. Played Death Stranding 2 recently, and now, for some reason, Snatcher avoided me all these years, and I have worked back to the beginning. Well, it's not quite the beginning, but like, it's somewhat of a beginning of his like cinematic journey. This is the first CD game, I believe or not CD game. First something that Konami did. It was a first something that marked like a cinematic entryway for the company, and it was like their first foray into making games like this cinematic experience that could rival Hollywood. You can see from it biting off lots of famous Hollywood movies.
yeah, I mean, Kojima famously wanted to be a director. He absolutely loved movies and Hollywood and all of that stuff. And then, as he was growing up, in the mid early 80s, the family computer comes out, the NES, the Famicom, and he goes, wait, maybe I could just make crazy cinematic games. And like even from the right off the bat, like even Metal Gear for the NES, like it has a level of polish to it that like all his games seem to have, and this one is no exception. I think even for its time, I think the original game came out in '88, and it kind of like took on a different life with each iteration that came out well into the mid '90s. So like he was still working on it. Like essentially, like the Sega CD version could be considered a director's cut in a way, like which is kind of
we got an extra act. We got voice acting. I don't know if we got extra music or anything from the original version.
So. I think with the vocal, I think there was maybe some vocals added to like vocal tracks and stuff. But yeah, he's a master of his craft. He's always chipping away and just trying to go that extra mile. And again, this game is no exception. For the time period it came out, there's very, very few games that I feel have this level of kind of polish to it, where there is brilliant voice acting, there is really great music, there's amazing pixel art and cutscene art, and it just does everything well.
There is so much attention to every single detail, and only the way that like a director or like someone that appreciates film and like specific ways to set up a scene can really do it. It was so different from just like video games trying to just plop whatever they can on the screen and like, oh, well, this is kind of like whatever movie I like. This guy was like, okay, I'm gonna storyboard. I'm gonna make like every scene in this seems like you can imagine the storyboard scene for every single room in this. You get so like familiar with every little location you visit, and like the musical swells, the voice acting. When you're the character you play as Gillian, and whenever he says someone's name and he goes like Mika or like whatever enunciation he puts in, it's like it's so personable. It gets stuck in your head. It's just great. The pacing is amazing. Yeah, they really nailed just the cinematic flow over the course of like a 7-hour game.
Yeah, give or
Something like
take.
that.
About
Yeah.
6 to 7 hours. And honestly, there are some games that came out around this time that were kind of doing something similar, like, Cosmic Fantasy Collection, or just Cosmic Fantasy rather, has really cool voice acted, cut scenes and stuff, but like it's just the level of detail, and they did come out at the same time, but the level of detail, Snatcher, in a lot of ways, feels almost modern. Like there's very few things where you're looking at it and you go like, oh, this is like aged. Oh, that's MS Paint art. Whereas like similar games of the time, you look at it now and you're just like, ooh, that's some MS Paint art you guys have. But Snatcher, no, like you said, it has that auteur's, like that artist's touch. Like, and Kojima, if you hate his games or you love his games, there's one thing that you can't deny, and it's the guy is an artist at heart. He loves, and he loves everything. It seems like there's few things that are off, like out of his reach, out of his scope, and he just takes it all in and it just kind of turns it into his own Kojima type of thing. And you see that a lot in Snatcher. You have tons and tons and tons of references to B movies, sci-fi from the 50s, sci-fi from the 80s, all kinds of crazy stuff. But it always still feels like his own thing at the end of the day. Even if you got T-800s running around, Blade Runner-esque worlds, and body snatcher type of, plot points, it still managed to be like Kojima. You can see his signature on it, and it never feels too like derivative. So
Yeah, like what you said about him absorbing everything and just like being a fan of just things that are created, that is so important to just like his body of work. That's the like kind of interesting thing about these auteurs in general, because you can follow their output through years and years, see what's consistent, see what's like part of their DNA that they've been trying to like translate through their work. Because there's consistent messages that Kojima is like trying to get across or like shown that he's shown interest in for like 30 years now. He's a huge fan of like U.S. governmental agencies. Let's get that out of the way first of
he
all.
loves the Cold War.
This man, yeah, he loves his Cold War tensions between Russia and the U.S. and all the missile crisis and everything like that. It's like his favorite thing in the world. But you can see all these ideas like spring up and come across, and like even gameplay elements and like poking around in menus, and like the essence of like codec calls are here. I know Metal Gear came out before this, but like it's something that he's just like conveying to you, having like a sense of camaraderie on the field, or like going to be able to talk to your team members at this point in time, or like mess around by like examining this girl too many times and like whatever, it's just like he encourages the player to like poke around in this world and really like feel like you can touch it and move it. And that's just like, there's little gameplay elements he carries over, there's thematic things, he loves his movie references, and it's just constantly showing you, hey, I think these things are cool, let me reflect it through my own work. And we like them or not, it's a grand product, like you said, and it's like the quality is just wow. I can't compliment it enough. I love this shit.
Yeah, no, like when you consider like what was going on in the 80s at the time, like let's rewind back. Let's take us back to the past to play the good games that don't suck ass. Like you even
And
like so we have Alien that comes out, right? And this clearly affected Kojima in a lot of ways. To what extent, I don't know. I'm not the man. I'm not in his head. But then you have Terminator, And you have all these James Cameron films, you have all these crazy movies, and he was at that right age. I want to say probably in his 20s, because he's an older guy. Like he looks pretty good for his age, but
I think he's like 60-ish
yeah,
now, I
which
believe.
is crazy because you look at him and you're like, oh, there's this 40-year-old tight little guy, got that tight little bod on him, but he's old, he's
That's the
up there.
Sakurai gene. That's the immortal god game dev
Yeah,
gene.
he's stealing our essence with these amazing stories and
Hey, I'll give as
harvesting.
much as he needs if it's to get us another game by him. Take it.
It's just like the guy who raced JoJo. I understand.
Exactly. But like he was at that right age where like in a lot of ways he is a student of James Cameron. Like he is a student
Yeah.
of all these. He is the product
He
of
becomes
watching.
a reflection. Yeah, when you ingest that much, and he was like a willing like reflection of all of that.
He's
He's
the
like, I
right
want to take it
vessel.
in and just I'll give you my lens on it now.
Yeah, like he was the perfect vessel at the perfect time. Like he took like, because in my opinion, I know I maybe not everyone feels this. Alien, Terminator, Back to the Future, like all these 80s sci-fi movies are like 10 out of 10s. There's a level, like they've lasted through 4 decades already. They are still as relevant as they ever were.
They were
People,
time defining. Like everything tried to chase that high that they gave off, and that you just can't compete with them.
yeah,
They're
and you still
beautiful,
watch them.
wonderful
Like
script.
you still watch them today, and they just capture you. I know
That's just
people,
still hype.
right? Like I even know people that they didn't grow up on that stuff. I remember buying the Japanese VHS of Alien for my friend because she never was like, she's like, oh, I kind of like Alien. I don't know about it, and I got her that VHS because it had a cool box art, and then she wanted to watch like more of it, and it just it captures people even if they didn't grow up watching it, even if they didn't watch it in the 80s or 90s or even the early like 00s. Like the tension, the atmosphere, the
Yeah, it
characters.
doesn't really matter how much time passes. Like I took film studies class at one point in my life, and we watched a bunch of old movies that I would have never been exposed to before. Stuff like North by Northwest and like all these old film noirs and like just stuff from back in the day where it's like, okay, well maybe Citizen Kane was good back then, but why should I care now? But then like you watch it and you learn what to appreciate and like how just pacing matters and like how these people like broke the ground and like there wasn't really the foundation to make something like Alien before it Alien, the amount of tension, the way it's paced, everything is just calm and quiet until that chest burster scene. Spoilers,
Uh-oh.
something bursts out of a chest in Alien. I don't know if you
Oh
knew.
no.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shock. The alien looks a little bit like the Mako infused creatures from Final Fantasy VII, if anyone's aware of those.
Or the things
So
from
I'd say that's also
Contra, or like
yeah.
the list can go on.
It's just every single alien design after that point was like, oh, this movie affected me greatly. I'm going to take a bit of that. So getting back to Snatcher a bit, this clearly took a bunch, like you said, a bunch from Terminator, even Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I would say, like a little bit on the nose, the word Snatcher and everything, but like it's like these robots try to blend in with society and like take the skin of the people they're impersonating. So yeah, some body snatcher,
It
and
could even
along
be
with
the
the
Thing
Terminator,
too,
like
right?
skin changing. Yeah, a bit of the Thing. I mean, it's all a huge soup. That's the entire point. There's not like just two movies this guy has seen and been influenced by. He's been influenced by like every single big thing that's been out, and you can like see little bits in here. So like if you watch film and you play this too, it's like giving your brain little treats of like, ooh, I recognize that, I know that, and I know what you're
I
doing.
know this,
Yeah,
and it feels
I know
good.
what that is.
It feels good for as like a low hanging fruit as that could be. Like we said earlier, the Kojima signature is enough to change it. He doesn't rip off as much as he just molds an existing idea into his own, because like the whole concept of Snatcher, like we could get right into that now. Like so like the basis of the game Snatcher is was the chemical weapon Lucifer Alpha basically like wipes out what, like 80% of the world or something, like 4 billion people, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They call it the apocalyptic event, I believe, or the apocalypse event.
Yeah, and then you have a bunch of political stuff that goes on, but it kind of just based with the chemical weapon with the Lucifer Alpha, and then goes like 50 years later, and that's kind of where we're at with Gillian, and there's artificial life forms, there's Snatchers. People are raising suspicions like the rich people killed all these people just because they thought they were like it. It's a unique take on things that like we've all seen before, but it sets it in this really cool world with a whole different premise and cool, fun characters. And honestly, I would love to see like a Snatcher movie. Granted, we have a
God,
visual
yeah.
adventure, but like I could easily see this being like a Blade Runner type, like something that lasts like decades, where people are like, "Did you watch Snatcher?" Like, oh, it would be so gritty and the side
You
like
could make a buddy cop thing with like Metal Gear being the sidekick, you know.
yeah, there's so
Kids
much.
would love it. Make the Metal Gear like a Jar Jar. Yeah, have a fart for the kids.
With the fart gas puts you to sleep.
There you
But
go.
like there is so much here where it's just like a lot of this was molded after something that existed, but you put this whole frame and blueprints onto it now, and it's just like you get this world of Snatcher, and it's this great cyberpunk kind of like
It's
futuristic
kind of a funny
world.
thematic tie-in because it's like the whole message of Snatcher. Like they bring up this comparison a lot in the game of like, oh, this is totally unique, or like, oh, this is a replica. It's like, there's a scale model of the house in here. Oh, there's a copy painting of this thing. Oh, there's another. Like the whole thing is like duplicants and like replicants, obviously referencing like Blade Runner and replicants and everything.
Mhm.
Um, Even with that, it feels like its own unique thing.
Yeah, which is wild because if you've ever written anything or tried to create anything, and you wear your influences on your sleeve like he does, it's very very hard to discern the two and not just make a carbon copy. Where like I remember being a kid and making RPGs in RPG Maker, and I would start off with like, oh, I'll just make like there's these crystals at the like there's these crystals of power and people have to get that, and it's just like in your head you think you're going so into left field where it's like this has never been done, but then by the time you're done you're like, oh, I just did Final Fantasy 1, like cool. And then
Palette swap.
yeah, and but it is really hard to have your influences and still
Yeah.
be this unique experience. Like
I
know
mean,
it
look at
plays
how
in-
many things base themselves off of like Roman Catholic mythology or like Greek mythology or whatever mythology, like all these biblical stories and things that like you can trace everything back to like the original stories. But it's like, okay, we'll mutate a little bit through time, maybe a different perspective, maybe a different character here and there, some sizzle zazzle, you know,
we'll make
spice
it
it up here and
woke.
there.
We'll make it woke and add
Yeah,
a
oh, none of that.
female.
Don't get me started on that.
A lot. But all right, we will.
Moving on.
Yeah.
We know
So
about that later.
if so, basically the gameplay. Does anyone want to take the gameplay, like kind of ease us into what exactly the Snatcher experience is?
I suppose I can take a shot at that. So in Snatcher, you're essentially playing in first person, and at the bottom of your screen, you have a bunch of options for what you can do. And you select one. Usually it's like look, investigate, talk. If you've seen our Famicom Detective Club episode, it's similar to that. And then you just interact with the environment afterwards, and you just slowly gain all your information. The fun part is, however, since Kojima doesn't want to just make a visual novel, he added these action sections where you get to wield a gun and shoot at the little spider robots. I forget their name.
Yeah, and if you
The
own an
fun-
actual light gun, then you get to have some fun with that and use it with your game. I didn't get to use a light gun. Did any of you use one when you played?
No,
No,
but
I
No,
didn't
I
set all of that.
didn't.
I'm thinking now I could play this on my Wii and go crazy with the little minigun light gun sections.
Oh, that would be great.
That's
Oh,
actually a
that'd
good
be
idea.
So nice.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Interesting.
Next time.
for next
I'm curious
time.
how much
I
one of those
actually kept I
Konami
actually kept
justifiers
dying
cost.
at that part
Have you?
when I was using like the D-pad. So I switched to the analog stick, and it made it much easier to get to the corner spiders. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I had fan if you're using an earlier emulator, you might have to map the diagonals, or it might just not handle them that well.
Yeah,
I
I
can see
heard
it
that
happen.
on some old consoles, you really gotta blow on those carts, and really makes the input thing.
Blow into that D-pad.
I didn't encounter that myself, but I did read about that being an issue, especially with the spider bots in that one part when you're crawling through the tunnel. I heard that was really hard on some old consoles
Yeah,
before you blow them.
I did use a light gun. Actually, it was in the shape of an Anubis head, and shout outs to
So
that game.
little backstory for that. Me and JJ recently hung out at an arcade, and we found a very mysterious arcade cabinet in the back with these light guns shaped like Anubis heads, but like these. It was like the most cousin controller light gun you've ever seen in your life. I've never seen it before. I probably will never see it again. But
Yeah.
bless you, Anubis head. Shout
I
out
don't
to
know
you.
how that game eluded me. It's a Sega game, clearly from
Sega, yeah.
from the Dreamcast era. It had to be 99 to like 2002. Or, I don't know. Don't want to go too off
The
topic.
other mysterious machine we found was also Sega with the key and the old Switch and everything.
8-year-old
Switch.
Sunspot.
Dang, you.
Yeah, that was one
I mean,
old
find
Switch.
some rare side quest artifact.
But yeah,
Getting back to a little bit of Snatcher, so you play as an investigative detective working for Junker HQ, and of course, Junker stands for something. Of course, it's an acronym. Why wouldn't it be? And I happen to have written it down what the acronym stands for. So, it's Japanese Undercover Neurokinetic Elimination Ranger.
Nice.
You got all that?
What?
I do.
I didn't
There was
know that.
another version of that too. I'm trying to find it.
Was it
There are
Special
two versions of
Tactics? Special Tactics and Rescue Squad? Oh no, that's Stars. Never
No.
mind. Sorry.
Close enough.
I do want to add while I'm
The same
trying to
thing,
look
though.
this up. In game, when you're doing the training early on, you attain the training range to practice the gunplay. That sets your difficulty, depending on how well you do on that. Very fun fact. So if you do too well on that and you get destroyed later, that's probably why.
Oh, does that affect the actual in-game
Oh.
difficulty outside of the
Yes.
training room?
Yeah, it does.
Interesting.
I got a
Had no
perfect
idea.
score.
Yeah, I grinded
Yeah,
that. Got the perfect score on the expert and everything.
You both had the hardest time.
Damn. But none of it ever felt too hard. Because at the end of the day, it's Snatcher.
Yeah,
Like,
that's too bad.
It is just
except for
gallery
maybe a bit at
shooting.
the end.
I played enough. What was that game? The
House of the Dead.
no, there's a Metal Slug mini
Whack-a-mole.
game like in Match of the Millennium for the New Geo Pocket Color. It's a fighting game crossover. There's like mini games, and there's a Metal Slug mini game, and it's literally exactly the same, exact same format. I've had plenty of training. Not to
A
brag.
bit like a Tiger Electronic game, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit
exactly.
King-watchy, that kind of, that kind of thing. You pick a tile, press a button.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh yeah. Game and Watch Gallery, I'm sure, has 18 different versions of it.
Yeah. And you know what? It felt just new enough and served enough of the gameplay for me to not even care. It's just a simple, fast little gunplay thing. So you get to these shooting screens and you have to press the A button to actually draw your gun, and it brings up like the reticles across like these 9 squares. It looks like a Mega Man boss screen in my mind. That's what I wrote down in my notes,
could
because it was
see
like a
that.
blue screen and 9 squares. A bit Brady Bunchy, whatever comparison you want to make. My headcanon is Mega Man. So yeah, you just do that. Basically, like it cuts up whatever screen you were on into 9. You gotta shoot little robots that pop up, little snatchers that go trying to shoot their mouth beams at you. You gotta pop them before they get you. Not too much to it, but it's a bit of interactivity to make you feel like you're got some action in your visual novel.
Yeah, it's
Visual adventure.
well, it's on the visual novel database. We can call it a visual.
It's on the
novel
scale.
if we want.
It's
If we really want.
it's very fun that in this game when you get to one of the shooting sections and like you're using the controller and you have the light gun plugged in, it does not wait for you. You gotta unholster that shit. You better be ready.
Draw McGraw,
Okay.
baby. So yeah, you getting back to some of our characters. We have Dillian Seed, who he's got amnesia. typical of our
The typical gumshoe wearing his brown detective coat, his slick back hair. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's got amnesia, like you said. He's got it all.
a little bit of Columbo in there.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like after replaying this, I feel like Date from Somnium Files is a little like inspired by Gillian. Just like the
Oh
weird.
my God, yeah.
He's got that weird perversion to him. He's kind of like gets a little goofy here and there with certain stuff. I don't know.
I can see that.
I for some reason I was getting certain Date feels from it, and there is like a weird overlap of like people that like, again, they'll play certain visual novels and like enter the world of text-based adventures and stuff like that, and like they'll play Somnium Files and then they'll play Snatcher. Then like there's some kind of weird thread of like DNA that I was feeling, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, detective, perv. I mean, they toned down the perviness in the Sega CD version a little bit, apparently.
Really, every version after the MSX got toned down. That one's fucking. My man needs to calm down.
She is underage. She is underage. We need to.
Yeah, that was no good.
But it was a different time, as they say.
It was a time. It
It
was
was
like they were just
1988,
seeing
but,
what they could do with video games. It's like, okay, well, movies do all this shit. What can video games do? And then quickly they found out where to reel it in. Make her 18, please.
I'm begging you, Kojima, and stop zooming in on her feet.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that he didn't discover that part of himself yet, but I'm not going to get too much into.
He's being modest. But yeah,
It's cool when you start this game and it starts you off immediately in the Snatcher HQ and you're just like presented with all these options and like you're looking around this big place. It's like, first day on the job. It really nails that kind of feeling, and like you're looking at this booth and like you're in this like weird pseudo neo future, and like then you like go to examine the desk and you start talking to your first co-employee Mika, and it's like you get your first bit of Kojima-ism here where you can explore the options, and if you like choose to keep looking at her, then it's like he keeps commenting on like on her body and whatever. I don't know what like the specific breakpoints are here and stuff. I didn't really fully experiment with these dialogue options. Did you guys? Is there like a game over state if you like perv on these characters too much or something?
There's no game over state like that.
that would be funny though. But
They just start looping their response after like a few like just move on, Gilly.
Yeah.
Going back to Adate from AI real quick. I asked because there's one section where you can talk to this receptionist that you kind of have a crush on and like you stare at whatever. And if you keep asking her on a date and bugging her, she's like, okay, let's go on vacation. And it gives you a gag ending where you two go on a vacation. And it's like the mystery was never solved. The end.
Which is perfect. It ties a nice little bow on it. But that is like a trope in a lot of these older adventure games. Like even the Hokkaido serial murder case, which is written by Yuji Horii, like just super old school type of like a text-based adventure game. There's a lot of scenes where like you go to what is it, like a brothel, and there's just like this really attractive woman, and depending on what you click, she'll call you out on it. And there was always, I think it was just a novel thing at the time to really just kind of like have someone
makes your choices feel like weighty.
Yeah, and it's a nice little tease too. Like they like you got to put yourself in the shoes of someone from in like the 80s, 90s. I guess maybe even today, but like in the 80s and 90s, it was very novel to be able to like choose options or click on certain parts of the screen. And the designers, exactly, and the designers knew that you were going to do that, like because you're in this world of exploration. So they were just like, hey, let's make them feel a little bit more alive. Let's make this feel like a living, breathing world. So like it can come off as pervy, but who's the one clicking? Like at the end of
even
the day,
if they are, it's like hidden away in enough menus too. It's like, okay, here's a little treat for you guys. Like you don't have internet, like you got to really dig for this thing and like play for a while. So like if you're at this point, then here you go.
Yeah.
There's also a number you can call later. Someone on the street gives you like a napkin for like one of the like a love line in Japan. And if you call it, you like contact this like hotline service, and like one of the girls you talk to is saying like, didn't you notice that everything we say is being censored? And like, if you want to like talk to me about like wanting to be with me, that you only say like you want to have woo-ha or like some innuendo. And then Gillian's like, yeah, you know what I want. You know, you can just tell me, right? And then she's talking about like all the censorship and everything, and like, we're trying to be coy about this, but we can't because they're watching. And then she's like, goodbye, and she redirects you towards a love line for like a stegosaurus or something that has like its voicemail or something like that, something silly.
Which is
But it's very self-referential. It's like, we're trying to get away with as much as we can. We're giving you guys a treat, so just let's chill.
yeah, it's got that self-aware, like there is a lot of that in this era for these types of games. Like, so I think even Blade for the Genesis, that's a text-based adventure. Very, very cool. It's only a few hours long. I really, I will always tell people to download a translation patch, enjoy it. It's alien, it's fun. But yeah,
What was the name of this?
Blade. Very, very
Okay.
cool. Just text-based adventure. But yeah, there's just a lot of that. If you play these older games, you'll see a lot of silly self-referential stuff, silly pervy stuff, and really no different from today. I mean, Resident Evil DS, if you turn Jill around, you can poke her butt with the stylus. Like, that's just where we're coming from, guys. That's just how it is. At the end of the day, they might be the ones programming it, but you're the dirty bastard who's poking Jill
You literally
in the
have to
ass.
choose the options. Yeah, you have to chase
You
it.
control the buttons you press.
Exactly.
But I have to see all the content. No, you don't. You can beat the game just fine.
I'm harassing Jill. But yeah, so getting back to the story, it starts you off, you're in the HQ, you get your gun, you're moving, you're grooving, you're doing your thing, and the world kind of opens up. I saw some people arguing that this is like, some could consider it an open world, not literally open world, but like your choices
It's a
and
sprawling world. Yeah.
like your choices and everything are opened up in a way that other text-based adventures of the time aren't, because usually they're on like a linear path. You exhaust all the menu options and then you're kind of done. This lets you kind of move around a little bit, feel out. Again, it makes this world feel living and breathing because you are really going through pretty much every option and trying to
Yeah,
figure
and you
out.
have to travel to different areas. You get in your turbo cycle, which is your future car. It's your cover car. You get this cool ass HUD when you sit in it. Whenever you choose to go anywhere, it's like the maps on the screen start flickering. It's like it shows the little GPS graphic scrolling through as your car speeds through the streets. There's speed lines. It's this whole like little like 10-second interactive thing as you go between areas, and it's fucking awesome.
And let's not forget little Metal Gear. He's a gem of a character.
Yes, you were given a
Oh, he's the
wonderful
best.
little sidekick who we cannot not mention. Little Metal Gear. You might be the name.
Yeah.
He walks, he talks, he slices, he dices, he does it all.
He
He's
saves
your
your
little
game.
robo buddy. He saves. He's got a flashlight.
Yeah, got that
He tells you to
flashlight.
turn your TV's volume up.
A little eternal darkness before eternal darkness.
I do like that Dave mentioned, like, yeah, we modeled the Metal Gear after that fiasco in the 20th century.
Yeah, that was
Like,
nice.
yeah, you play it. Eh?
Yeah, apparently someone was saying this is like a branching world line for like one of like into the Metal Gear Solid. I think like Metal Gear happens, and then like there's a branching path that takes you to Metal Gear Solid, and then there's the Snatcher world, which
So let's just be real. None of that was being considered. It's just
No.
referential shit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's even.
real.
I know it's been
These
like 10
canon
years,
lores are out of
but
control.
I know it's been like 10 years. Even Metal Gear Solid 5 had references to Snatcher. They
This
just
is
love them
like
being related.
fucking Final Fantasy X having the kid named Shinra. It's come
That's
on,
just-
guys.
That's literally just one guy insisting that these were like two related games. I don't know what that guy's problem is at Square. Everyone else is like, no, that's not true. Except for one employee.
well, Kojima.
Yeah, it's like it's just fun to reference things if you couldn't tell by the rest of this game, like the bar having like a bunch of Konami characters in it, shit, you know.
Or movie characters in an original version. They had to shy away a little bit of the on the nose references. They didn't want Cameron going after you or anything, but it is really a unique, like, just fun little world. So, as you start exploring it, I'm trying to remember exactly like your kind of path, because the story opens up with you having amnesia, and like there's that scene where you're like talking to your soon to be ex-wife, or
Yeah, and she's got amnesia too,
yeah,
which is very, very timely.
and she flat out is like, I think there's something in our past that will like destroy us if we learn about it. Spoilers, they learn about it. It really doesn't destroy them. I always thought that was an odd little like
Yeah, it kind of brings them
story
together.
beat. Yeah, it was kind of weird because like you would think, like, the whole time I'm thinking like, oh, he's a snatcher and he doesn't know it. Like,
Yeah, like I was thinking Blade Runner, is he going to be a replicant? Are we playing the director's cut version? Is he
exactly.
not?
Because it does keep you on your toes with those intro scenes and stuff, and then the mystery behind it. Like, how is Killian involved? And it, again, maybe there was another act planned, and he kind of like fizzle out, because this game is sort of a mess. Like, not in a bad way, but like the original versions only had Act 2. Like, imagine the game just ending in Act 2. Like, that's just that's a weird little fart to just be like.
It was definitely.
And then,
it's like, oh, Gillian, your past is all like weird and shit. Better go over to the other side of the world to go find out.
Go to Russia, figure it out.
I must well, yeah, but yeah, go to Russia.
Yeah. So it is interesting.
Too.
Well, we got Police Knots, so I guess that's the closest we'll get. But
yeah, it's actually really funny. Speaking of Auteur DNA, too, 2 detective games made by Kojima where both of the detectives have amnesia and are from out of time, and they wake up from a cryopod in the future. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? We'll do it again.
I really like that trope.
It's not a bad trope.
Let's give him blue hair this time, though.
Not a bad trope at all.
He's different. He's blue.
So, I guess, so do we want to just kind of go down the list of... Don't go on, Zero. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I can help with the path. So, like, you're in Junker HQ, you get your first assignment to go investigate this factory where, like, the lead snatcher guy, I forget their sub names of
Madnar, which is also a reference to Dr. Madnar from Metal Gear.
No, that's not the guy. I meant like his title within Snatcher or within Junker. I forget what they're called, but yeah, like the lead Junker is at a factory, send an SOS signal, you get sent to hell. You get there, you like find his little Metal Gear companion, and then you find him, and he did not fare so well, I will say. Head got twisted clean off his body.
I did not expect to see this level of graphic violence, first of all, in this game. When you find this guy Jean's body, his head is fucking twisted off. It shows it in graphic detail. It shows the entire like neck hole, and like his head's just chilling there. And you have to like just chill on the screen and investigate him and poke and prod at him and like search his pockets and go through every dialogue option like 10 times to get everything.
It seems he got ahead of himself. Nah, I wish.
Your right hand comes off?
Yeah.
We go on, Zero. But yeah, one real quick thing to add. The blood and gruesome was actually toned down a lot, I think, with each kind of release, where apparently it's even worse in the older versions. I don't know.
I saw a screenshot of that, but it looked about the same. That doesn't seem any worse.
It seems like they toned down the sexuality stuff. I heard that they took out a part where you can like sniff panties and like some wild stuff.
These woke games removing options
we'll go over that a bit later.
What's even the point of playing anymore? God.
Oh, woke.
So after all that, you're trying to find the Snatcher who did this to John. After collecting evidence off his body and collecting the data chip off of his old Metal Gear. And like you don't find him, but then a timeout gets set. And you have to get the fuck out of there. And as you try to do this, Metal Gear stops and goes, I'm too scared to move. And it's like, motherfucker, you're a robot. Get the hell going.
Yeah, that immediately establishes Metal Gear as this goofy little, like, humanistic robot. Like, he's got human traits where he's like, no, I have emotions. And, like, it's totally normal. Everyone treats him like he's a little bumbling guy.
He is, and I love it. He's got a little bit of heart.
So after that, you go back and then you get your first set of leads to go explore Neo Kobe City with. Like a clean
and this is
chess
the part
piece
where
and
like
like
you
a
get like
picture.
all of your items, like you're investigating your evidence. You can like show it to people. You can ask them. You can like start examining like the chief in his office. And if you examine it too many times, it's like, why are you suspicious of me? You stop that right now. And like you can investigate all these people at Snatcher HQ. One feature I really like is when you talk to the chief, you can ask him for like detective advice, and it's kind of like. This is a very Metal Gear gameplay feature as well. It's like calling the colonel or whoever's in charge of your mission because they kind of tell you like, why don't you go check out this area? Why don't you go do this? So like if you're ever stuck, you can go talk to him and he gives you like an in-game tip. I thought that was really nice. Basically everyone in Snatcher or Junker HQ rather feels like a codec contact from Metal Gear, and like everyone has their own little. Like you got your Harry, the the engineer rather. He doesn't say too much, but you can like talk to him about his booze bottle, whatever.
He gives you the gun, right?
Yeah, he gives you the
rip,
gun.
Rip to him later.
Yeah. Or pour his bottle out for him, homie. But
It's
yeah,
actually
there's
really
a bunch of
fucked up when you
that. You
find
go
out.
out to Neo Kobe City, which is this huge neon city. It's like it's one screen, but it's so sprawling. There's so many details flashing. There's like a billboard with like flashing graphics on it. One of the graphics there's a few graphics that have phone numbers on them as like Easter eggs. You can call them on your little Metal Gear phone, get your Easter eggs, and you even need to get one of the numbers to progress the story. There's like cool little interactive stuff with the scenery. It's like you go on, Zero. I just wanted to throw that in. How
No,
it feels like a codec contact.
You're good, because that's about like what I was gonna start talking about as well. Was that whole section? I do like how the codec calls came from that. After that, you go to like you get your lead about like two people that could potentially be the Snatcher that did this to Jean. You go to the first one, he ends up just being some drug user, and you get a whole bunch of lore about the drug use in the city, which is I don't know how related it really is to the story. But once you're done over there, and, like you shot this guy's like, "Are you gonna call for help?" He's like, "Nah, you're a drug user. You're on your own. Bye." It's like, damn, Gillian, kind of cool.
He's not. No, I'm kidding.
No, you go. Then you go to the second guy's place, and you meet his wife. And this is where the sexuality got toned down a little bit because you find out that she's a snatcher, and then you murder her. And for some reason, her breasts pop out after you kill her in the MSF version. This gets toned down in every other one afterward.
Yeah, you can
The
see
look
this
is a
picture on the Wikipedia. It's kind of wild that they originally just had her like bust out of her top because it's like, what are you? How does that even happen?
Yeah, they got the
Okay,
bazungas
that's
at
a
full
bit
force
silly.
in this game.
Yeah,
The early Kojima was not ashamed of his words and deeds.
he
I
was
guess
a
he was because he
young,
censored it later.
virile man.
That's true.
He had a
I
vision.
posted pictures. He was very young back in the day.
He's very young now.
Yeah, he's still young, still horny. Look at his games.
God.
Quiet needs to be naked. You don't understand. Her
I
skin
don't
will make her die if she's not naked. Please, you'll regret your words and deeds.
I did not regret my words and deeds at all. But okay, Kojima, whatever you say.
So, who is your one
that's gonna do it.
sidekick? Because you start meeting him like in a little bit, right? What was his name?
Napoleon?
Nah, was he?
Yeah, your informant,
Random?
or do you random?
Yeah,
No, Random's the bounty hunter is just like tagging along, like behind you.
Random
That's the guy who helps
Haji,
you
I believe was his name.
with the Snatcher in there when you're fighting that one.
Yeah, you're cornered in the bathroom, but in that one apartment of the people that Zero was just mentioning. The husband comes in at you. He's a snatcher. He's about to pop you. Someone comes up behind you. It's this bad mother trucker named Random. He's got his slick back blonde hair. He goes, "Hey, nothing personnel, kid." Blast this snatcher in the head.
cool.
He's the coolest guy ever. Gives you a big old smirk, and he says, "I gotta go." And
He's like, "Aren't you help with the investigation?" And he's like, "Nope, that's your
Nope.
job. I'm just here to
I'm a
shoot.
merc."
Bye." I'm like, damn, he knows what he's about.
But he does make he does help in the end to
Yeah.
He does.
in a way
Yeah,
that
if we can jump around a bit, right?
Yeah.
We got spoilers on lock. So it turns out like
Yeah, remember what we said about thinking Gillian is a Snatcher?
Mhm.
yeah, cover it. Go for it.
Go for
No,
it.
go ahead, AT. I just wanted to interject that. I'll try to tell you.
Yeah, so basically, skipping ahead a bit, you find like the Snatcher warehouse and stuff. Your memory and your wife's memory come back, and she's like, "Gillian, I know I was wrong. We were frozen in pods, and we were the ones that made Snatchers, or something like that. Like they're the ones that invented Snatchers, I believe, right? Am I getting that right? Or no, that was Moscow that did it. What did they do again? They did some science shit.
Like in Siberia.
Yeah. Were they the ones that made the Snatchers? I can't. Oh God, I'm a fake.
I think Gillian, right? He had a
It was
part.
Elijah.
Yeah, Gillian and his wife were working on the project to create the original bioroids, which is what the Snatchers are called official.
Yeah, and it turns out they were the parents of Harry. Harry had this one picture of just him as a kid, and like the faces of his parents were ripped out. That was the one picture he had. You find that picture later, and it's just Gillian and Jillian. What's her name? Gillian and Jillian, whatever.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie.
Gillian and Jamie. That's the one. Lovely wife.
Close enough.
So it's the two of you gave birth to Harry. It was your son. But the third person in the cryopod was missing, and it turned out to be the original version of Random. And I think he was the one that made all of the Snatchers. That was it. And then like he made like copies of himself. I don't remember. There's a lot of details that happen all at the end.
So like he was in love with the original Random, named Modnar, I think, or something like that. But yeah, he was in love with the girl, right. But like Jamie loved Gillian, so he got mad. He cryo froze our A1 and like planned out like, okay, I'm gonna freeze myself, release this virus that's gonna like kill half the world, and then they'll find a vaccine, and then when I get unfrozen, they'll have a vaccine, they'll cure me, and I can work on my ship for more time, and then I can only wake up Jamie and not wake up Gillian, and then she'll fall in love with me over time. And then he couldn't do it, so then he just stayed alive and went, well, I guess I'll just become, I'll just become ruler of the free world because I am better than all the other people.
Yeah, but then his Snatcher young version of himself, who was your original friend, he was a Snatcher all along, but he helped you out. Whoa, who could have guessed? He ends up sacrificing himself and taking down Modnar. I think I got that right. Anyway, a lot of stuff happens at the end. The point is, a lot of stuff happens in this game. It's a whole journey. This really does feel like an episodic, like TV serial. It's action packed. Like we said before, the voice acting is so well paced. I don't know if you guys like picked up on this or appreciated when you were playing, but it was like just the snappiness of like, they don't waste time over explaining things. Like the music swells at the right times. Like it feels like an exciting little TV drama.
Yeah, it's really well done for 1994. I was fully impressed.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a little bit of slow parts with like the just like detectiving gameplay bits when like you don't really know what to investigate. You think you've been through all the options. You got to like comb through everything like 5 times to trigger the flag. But, it's fine. As a part of being a detective, it's fine. Listen to the music, chill, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, and it's honestly no worse than any other game in the genre at the time.
Yes.
These games wanted you to exhaust every option. Like, you will find the flag. You just literally have to click every single option and make sure you didn't miss one. That's where the problem can lay, because, like, you might think you hit every option, and then you're just missing that one option, and you keep.
Yeah, you had to pick something 4 times instead of 3 times.
Yeah.
I think the arduous bit was when you have to reconstruct the suspect's face using like a database preset of like 5 like hairs, 5 face.
Oh, you better believe that was the one part I used a guide for.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, there are like 2 parts where it's just kind of infamous in terms of just like how cryptic they are and how you just kind of are like, I want to use the guide.
At least doesn't send you on a wild goose chase for getting the wrong option or something. It's just like, nah, that's not it. There's no one like that.
I had to use it.
And it's
that face reconstruction bit was really cool though, because I remember when I was on Prodigy Internet back in the day. Does anyone remember Prodigy? Raise your hands.
I had Juno.
There's one website. Yeah, Juno was cool too, but I think it was Prodigy exclusive, maybe. Either that or like Windows 3.1 exclusive, something like that. There was like this it was basically a game like that facial reconstruction thing where like you slide through features and make different faces for people, and it's like that kind of graphic. So very nostalgic and cool. I really like that bit, even though it made me really mad.
But again, it's no more offensive than like LucasArts games at the time, where it's like use the
Absolutely.
gum and make sure you click on this one branch to break the branch, and then combine the gum, and then make sure you find the exact sewer grate that you got.
You can only do so much to make these games hard, or like make them longer or engaging, or like make you have to like work or think for it. You know, they had to come up with something. So
yeah, in the grand
it's fine.
scheme of things, it's pretty inoffensive. Yeah, it might be confusing now, but back in the day when you had nothing but time, this was
That was the meat and potatoes.
not the worst offender. There are some obscure ass things in other games that will make you question how you would ever figure that out. But yeah, so eventually,
at the same time, there's only like so much space on the disc. You gotta just kind of deal with whatever you have to do. Sometimes just like, well, I think they should do this, so they'll have to figure it out to do that eventually. Sorry, go on.
No, again, you're not wrong. There's all these limitations to what can be done and how it can be done, especially for something at a time when it was just so early on. Again, going back to ATI about the voice acting and stuff like that, if you compare voice acting at the time to this game, like everything really is just kind of next level. You had infamous voice reading lines from all like what was it? The Sega CD games. I can't even remember. There was one that's just infamous for how bad the voice acting is, and even the good ones weren't even that great. But this one's like, again, it's solid. There's
The direction is really good. Like they feel like they're interacting and talking to each other. Like
the
they
quality
actually have
sounds
emotion
good.
in their voice. Yeah, every character feels like they are like an actual living, breathing thing with like their own like agency, and like I said before, Gillian gets really worked up, and when he calls people's names, and like it's something that's in my head when I think of his character. He's Mika or whatever. He's like gets this really like excited way of talking, and it's really fun to listen to. Everyone has their own unique little style. It's really fun just hearing all these characters and hearing Napoleon talking to you when he's Santa, stuff like that. It's a good old time.
Even like the fortune teller too. She was nice.
Yeah, and did the mask store guy talk? I don't remember. I think he just had dialogue, but it was like the characters just so lively. Like I imagine his.
I think you cut out ATI.
I don't know how much of that you heard, but like even the characters that aren't voiced, like the mask shop guy, they're so lively. You start to like hear their imaginary voices in your head. So.
Yeah,
I think I found the game that you wanted. It's 1993's The Adventure of Willie Beamish on Sega CD. Had notoriously awful voice acting.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a really bad voice acting game too, just by name alone. I think it was a working designs game, but I mean, again, there's multiple games. That,
I mean, look at Mega Man X4 voice acting even a few years later from this, and it's like notoriously awkward and weird. I love it, but let's be real, it's not serious.
Yeah, I think something to compare it to would be, which is funny, is LucasArts games. They had a level of polish and voice acting and direction that like other games didn't have at the time, and I think you can only say that it has that edge because it's from literally Lucasfilms. It was in a studio that was already, boosted up by a legendary director. So it's funny how there are parallels. Like Kojima he's got that touch. I know we're glazing him a ton, but like he just has that extra touch where his small little studio... I'm
gonna admit it. I will glaze him openly. Come at me.
Glaze him till the end of time. But like you could see his small little team that he had, or maybe it was a large Konami team. I don't think it was exactly super big, but like he made something that is on the level of a studio that is from a legendary director, like that already had tons and tons of money, tons and tons of boosting and experience from all these things
in a new medium.
Yeah. and in a new medium. So it's just, again, I can gush all day about it because it truly is special. Like, some things don't always play out exactly how, like, the payoff isn't always there in Snatcher. Like I said earlier, they mention, oh, we have this part of our past that will completely destroy us, and then like you find out your past and everyone's like,
They just
okay.
like remember it suddenly. She calls you up and she's like, Gillian, I remember everything. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, some of the
Yeah.
even random, like when he kind of sacrifices himself, there isn't much like, what's the word? Like, you don't really build up a lot with him. Like, you don't truly like really know him to a degree. He's kind of just like that
Yeah.
that
He
movie
he's the
guy.
mysterious drifter. He's like the Green Ranger or something. Like he's like just the guy. And, like you
Yeah.
don't need to know more. It's like it's an action movie. Like things show up and like they get the bad guy and cool stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, quit watching Cinema Sins. Just enjoy the story. But yeah, I was going to mention that Firefly. Like when you call up Jamie and she's like, very clear, like okay with like the Snatcher face.
Yeah.
She has a mask
being
over
such a
She's
her
like a
head.
everyone else.
prankster. I love her.
It's a very good hint about like her actual past right there. Like, yeah, it's just a bio rig. What do you mean?
Good way to get shot
I
in the
almost fell
face.
for it at the start. I thought she really turned into a snatcher.
Yeah, and it had that swelling music. That was another use of music that really gets you. There's like dramatic uses where it's like that, da-dong, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
shocking revelation. No, Snatcher. But it turns out she's just pranking you.
Just having a laugh as your gunners.
Do you guys have any other moments that were very memorable to you, or just things that stood out, or things that you wanted to just mention that happened that you wanted to recollect on?
God, there's a lot. I have to think. Hold on.
One thing I really liked was just how this isn't in Kojima games in general, where like he has the ridiculousness and referential style of writing, but he also has his like pseudo prophetic feel or like somewhat prescient or timeless kind of predictions, I guess. Not really predictions, but like I guess that's just the mark of a sci-fi writer writing things that are like plausible for the future. And he wrote this the whole thing with Russia and the Cold War in general, but that at the end he was like, "Oh, the Kremlin launched the Snatcher project, where they're going to replace enemy leaders with puppets of our own, then control their
Yeah.
governments, their economies, take over our country from the inside out." It's like, "Oh, you got some ideas, Kojima." Okay.
Damn,
You
that's
know-
crazy, Kojima. That would never happen.
Yeah, he was
Not
on the
wild.
pulse for a lot. Like even the Snatchers causing like suspicion. Like there was like this little speech that they have at the end. Something about how like the Snatch. I use the Snatchers
Yeah,
to
Their goal was to
elicit-
erode fear and trust.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm using these Snatchers to bring out these parts of humanity, or something along those lines.
Make people distrust each other, and like it was all that stuff, and like making people doubt each other, and like then that fear will take over, and then it'll crush everything, and like just making you turn on pockets of communities to
Yeah,
each other.
just give AI a few more months. We'll be right there with that.
Yeah.
It's
Just a few more months, bro. That's all I need.
I'll just get those bunkers ready. But yeah,
One other quick little note: if you bug Isabella, the dancer, in the club enough times for her phone number, she's like, "Fine, here's my number," and you call it. And, it goes to a voicemail for that Stella the Stegosaur that you get forwarded to from the other love worker as well.
God, just keep getting cranked nonstop.
it's so good.
My favorite bits are just the. Oh no, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think my favorite overall is just like how much of a living, breathing world this actually feels like. You just have so many aspects for a simple text-based adventure game, but like ATI was saying, there's these numbers you can call. There's these multiple instances where you can use the same option and get certain different reactions from people. It made the experience overall feel like more than it was, because when you do boil it down, like I was listening to a lot of retrospectives, and some people were actually just like overall disappointed in the total package of Snatcher because it doesn't reach the highs that it tries to hit. like it sets you up. Like the first and second act feel like super strong, but then you can kind of see a little bit of like the knots untangling. Like certain things were kind of just drifting off to the side. They might have bit off more than they can chew.
Yeah, and they had to be like, okay, well, how do we wrap this up? We can go in so many directions, but like the budget only lets us do so much. I mean,
There's only
shit,
so much space
like
on
you
the
said,
disc.
they didn't even do the Act 3 in the first version of the game.
Yeah.
So like, what can you do?
That's probably what they figured was like, oh, it's messy if we try to go to Act 3 now. Let's just make it a sequel game.
Yeah.
We'll just expand on it entirely.
So
I was
it
gonna
does
agree
end
with-
up action movie where it's just like stuff is blowing up, and like at the end you get the girl and like you get seen off at the airport or whatever, and
But
Yeah,
again,
and one of them says, hey, Gillian, you should be happy all these beautiful women are coming to see you. And I'm like, oh, thank God this wasn't in the fucking original MSX version.
but it does tie a little bow on it at the very end. Like it has the act 3 of action movies where it's like stuff happens. And like that's
Yeah.
the best way to describe it. It's like stuff happens and it's still good. It's not like the most in-depth like plot like story weaving in and out, but like stuff happens and it does put a pretty decent bow at the very end. Like it's nothing I'd ever argue. Like I think the game is brilliant, but I could see
Yeah.
how some people might be like, oh well, what comes of this and what comes of that, and it's like, bro,
It's one of the cases of like if you just go into something and let it flow, just enjoy what's there instead of what's not, you're gonna have a good time. Don't try to like expect something more or something else out of it. It is what it is. It's a miracle that it came out at all. It's fucking beautiful. Enjoy the parts that are good. Like what we do here on Lens of Truth, I think, is to try to highlight the parts that are worth enjoying. And if you come out of a game with just even some parts you can glow or gush about, does the rest really matter that much? If you had a good time, you can take something good out of it.
yeah, no, I truly believe that. Like I'll
I will
always.
say-
No, go on, Zero.
So my favorite part of this, like, was just how, like you said, how lived in the world feels. Like you go enjoy ramen or Neo Kobe pizza, which is actually like a takoyaki of sorts in a ramen broth. And I like how
Dunkin's your
partway
pizza
through,
soup. Yum.
I like some pizzas too. I'll fuck with it. My other favorite thing is
Pizza
like
and a Coke.
when you first go to the city early in the game, it's like just playing normal like city music that you expect, and then partway through your informant is wearing a Santa outfit, and so you just start
Yeah, and
hearing.
you get a cool ass Christmas
Christmas
song
music.
going.
Yeah, I've been playing it for the
Yes.
last hour and a half.
It's incredible.
I love it. It's
Everyone go
fantastic.
listen to the Snatcher Christmas music. It is fantastic. At this time of the year to blast some Christmas music, put that song on.
Yeah, you really
and
can't
that's
go
how
wrong.
lived in the world is, and like how much they really want to give Neo Koei like its own thing. Like it's down to like even the manual has like a gender and age distribution graph, and it's like you didn't have to make that.
Yeah,
Why'd
oh my
you
god,
make-
and there's just so much detail. If you go to the supercomputer in this game, you can do one of those things where like you look up names for people, and like of course there's Easter eggs. Of course you can look up Kojima and he's got his own entries. It's got like I think it has like the 20, 30 people in the Konami staff all in there you can look up. It's got like all these random names. Everyone mentioned in the game you can search for on this computer. It's got like bios for them, little facts about them. It's got a lot of little info in that little codec there.
I love that it says Metal Gear is scared of animals, and it mentions like biozoos, which are like them trying to recreate these extinct animals after the virus.
Yeah,
like,
and
I
when
want to see where I take
you
Metal Gear
investigate
to
them,
the
he's like,
zoo.
I
That
don't
would be
like
hilarious.
these.
Yeah, I want to take Metal Gear to a zoo. That sounds hilarious.
Poor
Imagine
little guy's gonna get trauma.
imagine a true open world in like Neo Kobe where it's just like it's not like a Snatcher sequel or anything, but it just because it seems like what's up.
I don't know. I was just saying, I guess that's kind of what SD Snatcher was going for, that RPG retelling of Snatcher 1 that they made afterward.
Oh yeah, I guess
That was the one that originally had like an Act 3 story. Like that was the one that started to include Act 3 in it.
I could see that. Or I'm just thinking even modern, like super modern, where it's just like Shenmue. Like instead of Yu Suzuki bankrupting Sega, Kojima bankrupts Sega by making like a Snatcher, not even a Snatcher, but like a Neo Kobe, like open world, like you're just avenging someone, or there's some weird plot point, but like all the backstory, like what Zero was saying, how there's like gender distributions, and like you can look in the database and see all these characters. It seems like he really wanted this to be like a world that you can keep going back into and like to build off of it. Like, so it would have been really cool to just see like, I don't know, just you're eating some Neo Kobe pizza, and then you're on your weird smart tablet device that wasn't invented yet, but Kojima knows about somehow, and you're just like swiping through like weird ads and like TikTok reels that somehow didn't exist 30 years before, but he knew all about it, and you just get to like live in this world, like with the gender, it's showing you like, oh, today's, matchmaking is skewed by so much percent because there's like, do you remember the percentages from the manual? I'd be curious to know if there's like a huge like unevenness, like 80% women, 20%.
Let me find it really quick.
But yeah, that's my pipe dream of just like some weird open world.
Extended universe. Yeah, I feel like that's the way to go with like, I was thinking about revisiting properties and remakes and remasters and all that stuff in general recently. You really can't go back and recapture magic of something that was cooked in a specific time that's like a specific result of like being influenced by movies and all this stuff. You got to put a modern spin or flavor on it. So like you take this setting, you like you said, and you make that kind of like modern technology, not trying to recreate what it was, but like use it as the basis. And I think that'd be really cool. Like a not quite cyberpunk, but like you said, like even just a Shenmue, just exploring, because like you don't need high stakes action in a place like this. It's just somewhere you want to like peruse the streets and like ingest all that neon and whatever is on those streets and like go into the black market. Yeah. Go into black taxi. But I guess it's kind of cyberpunky in general, and like Cyberpunk the game is a bit of a wish fulfillment towards this whole setting, I guess.
Yeah, Kojima might have saw Cyberpunk and was like, you know what? I don't need to do it.
Yeah, he's like, my job is done. But the DNA does live on, like in even like Metal Gear Solid 5, like it's that kind of like you can just tell that kind of like the prankster in Kojima lives on. You know what I mean? Like there's just silly stuff you can do that's like reminiscent of like silliness in Snatcher. Like it feels like it's related by blood somehow.
Yeah, and then there is some of that too, where like the game is super serious, and then like the next instant it's super jarring in the sense where it's like kind of slapsticky or like not quite like the tone can be super serious, or it could be like super silly, and Kojima does a nice way of kind of bouncing around between the two, for better or for worse, because some like crazy high tension stuff happens in this game, and then like a minute later it's like, oh, we're doing our silly kind of thing, and it's like, hey, I can live with it. Aerith dies in FF7 and you go snowboarding immediately. That's just how it is. Like it's
sometimes
whatever.
You gotta blow off steam,
right? You gotta let it out. But yeah, I mean,
the facts of life.
In general, what you got, Zero?
I guess my one last thing is that I forgot about this personally. Suda 51, like back in the like mid or late 2000s, made like a whole radio drama series as a prequel to Snatcher.
That's
where it
awesome.
takes like from the perspective of Jean during his investigation into that factory. And I think that's cool. 6. I totally forgot that existed until I did research for this game.
Yeah, I might have to look into that.
I want let my man do Snatcher too. Come on, like Kojima out of the Silent Hill mines already.
Well,
just referencing back to that instruction book real quick, it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, that people below 30 generally skewed male in this universe, and then like it looks like after 40 they started skewing female.
I think that's right. Maybe not reading that chart right at all, but that's what it looked like to me.
I can't make sense of that, but we'll see in
I don't
2042.
Know. Who knows?
We'll see in 2042. But yeah, just in general, genuinely love this game. I wish I got to spend a little bit more time with it on the second go around, but the first time I played
If
it,
you like detective stuff, if you like cyberpunk, if you like your neuromancer, all that stuff, check it out.
Kojima, any
I got it anyway,
80s
it's really
movie, it's just a fun time. Like, you can't go wrong. It's got sweet music. It's got amazing visuals. It's something that deserves more love, even though it gets a ton of love. Like, this should be like a game that's on every like top list for the era where it was just like, I don't know, most progressive Japanese text-based adventure, whatever you want to call it. I think it like deserves it's all the flowers and more.
Yeah, it's one thing to be aware of this game, and it's another to experience it. Way back in the day, I remember seeing some of the screenshot LP by Slowbee for this game. That was like my one introduction to it. I barely remembered some of it. It was like the art looked cool, but like it's really a complete package. Like seeing the sprites animate, and like seeing the mouths move, and like it lines up with the voice acting, and that's good technology for the time. It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's just all really cool. I love this game. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say. Oh, sorry.
I just want to say this was my first time playing the game, and I was like hooked instantly. So I just played it in one day. I finished it.
Hell yeah.
One
Yeah,
sitting.
like I said, the pacing just makes it so easy. It's like you're constantly on the run, like you're always discovering things, or like it doesn't
You get
really
sucked
linger
in.
too much.
It,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it's
hooked.
really good.
yeah, it keeps you on your toes. It slowly gives you info, but then more stuff happens, and then
Yeah,
it really is the perfect action movie. Like, you
I
got
even
Alien. No, go on.
yeah, I even started listening to the soundtrack of the Kobe City like every day
So good.
on my way to work. It's so good.
Yeah, everything is like bassy and punchy. It's such a good. Oh, and this was also my first time using the Sega CD. I don't know if you guys heard that splash screen before you put the CD in, if you had that on your old consoles. But man, that
Uh,
shit is banging. Go look that up on YouTube if you haven't heard or seen it. The logo starts
I
going crazy and warping around, just like got this crazy beat.
Ooh, I need to
So
see
good.
that.
I loved my Sega CD growing up, man. I wanted more games for it.
I
I love
hated
this
Oh,
it.
game. This was the
speaking
first time I
of
actually played it too. Okay.
the end of, we need to mention this about Metal Gear. He sacrifices himself at the end, and he comes back as a like Sega 32X as
Yeah.
his like body.
Yeah,
That
I
was
His
think
head
so
the
is like
cute.
console,
mounted on
like
32X.
I think it was actually like he's mounted on a Sega Genesis with the CD add-on, and that's it. And
It
they
was
changed it like for
something,
every
yeah.
release too. Like PlayStation, I think it's just a PlayStation. Saturn is just a Saturn. It's a very good bit.
It's
I
very
love this
funny.
game. This is the first time I actually played this game too. I knew about it, but I never like sat down and played it. I want a Switch version personally, so I can like just point my fucking Switch Joy-Con at the screen to do the shooting section. Something else
Same, me too.
I wanted to mention really quick while I was thinking. There was a bit we talked about with like surprisingly how violent this game was. And like during the Mega CD's release, they were going to censor this game. There's gonna be like an uncensored code, like the old Mortal Kombat games had. And like I think one that was like the dog was just not gonna have like uh,
Dog that's
the
thrown through the
daughter's dog
window.
dies. Yeah, the
Dog
dog
just thrown through
and
the
like the
window.
guts are all splayed out and shit. And it's like really gross. And it's like wow. But like apparently originally they were gonna censor that, and you had to like put a code into the computer Jordan to uncensor all these scenes.
I
I
mean,
guess
it
somewhere along
was
the way just
I
stopped that.
saw that the original had like the guts like animating and like gushing
like
out and stuff, and
pulsating and
like
Yeah, it
shit.
was like
yeah,
one.
instead
It
of
was
Oh,
just
just one
still
geez.
frame. That's it. It's like one frame more of animation. It's just twitching.
that's enough.
Yeah, it is. But it's not like
Poor
some
Alice, pour one out.
radical thing. Rest in peace, Alice. But
Rip.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. That like it was almost a victim of that same hysteria that Mortal Kombat brought in at the time.
I mean, it was a big
I don't know
thing.
how they managed to get it through. How they managed
Uh,
to get this game through as it is, I have no idea.
They probably said screw it and said we're not going to bow down to all the fearful, because I think a lot of that was just like the
Yeah,
North America. Like Japan didn't have much of a problem. It was
yeah,
our
Jiminy
weird
is.
politicians who were going into like Congress or whatever the hell. They're you can watch on YouTube like when like I don't know, Sega and Nintendo are in court and they're trying to defend their game. Like there's a whole thing. Like it's so sad how our government like couldn't just leave it be.
That's-
But
That's probably a whole Lens of Truth episode on its own, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was cool that, and like if you didn't type the code in now, I think it's like Konami. Like you'll hear a jingle in the game, but it just doesn't do anything. And like for a while, if you're like, "Oh, that's the uncensored code," it's like, for what? Nothing censored in the
No,
game. What are you talking
they
about?
were ready though. They were preemptively ready.
I mean, they predict everything. Kojima knows all. I mean, Snow 9, related to Ice 9 and 999. Did Kojima
Oh,
predict visual novels? I don't
That-
know.
Did he invent the
Did
genre?
Kojima invented them? Oh shit!
He made
Spooky.
words. He invented books and reading.
It's true.
He taught us
He also
everything we
invented
know.
memes.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me for Snatcher. You know, we gushed and we glazed and we said as much as we could. We went to and fro. I think that's it. Do we have any last thoughts? Any little things you want to get out there?
I mean, I brought up Neuromancer just a little bit ago as like the granddaddy of cyberpunk. This hangs up. This is worthy of hanging up on that upper echelon of cyberpunk entries. There's a lot of them now these days, but like if you need to get just a good hit of cyberpunk, this will do you just right.
Yeah.
I love this game. I also, if you want, they actually do have the recipe for that Neo Kobe pizza. Like you can just Google it and you'll find it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna buy some takoyaki and do it.
I wish you luck.
Show us some pictures.
Yes.
And with that, we shall see you next time. GG's all. Later.
Achoo. Goodbye.
Bye.